Okay, we can start with Namakar mantra.
Okay.
Okay, let's recite it together.
Hands. Come here. Join your hands. Namo Arihantaya.
Oh,
Namo Namo
Ayariyaram,
Namo Vajrayaram.
Namo Loe Savasahonam,
Eso
Panchan Namo Yar
Sava
Pavapanasano Mangalam Chantavesi Param Hoi Mangalam.
Okay, next.
Daddy.
Answer the question.
Me.
You can, right?
We can start with the next to recite.
We're doing Sattari Mangalam.
Yes, Chattari Mangalam.
Maybe lesson 2. Yeah.
Ready?
Hands together. Sattari
Mangalam,
Arhanta Mangalam Sita Mangalam Ahu Mangalam Kevali Mantro Dhammo Mangalam Chattari Uttama Arhantalo Uttama Sita Uttama Sahulo Uttama Kevali Mantro Dhammo Uttama Chattari Sharanam Pavachami Sarvam Pavachami
Side
Sharanam Pavachami Sahu Sharanam Pavachami Kevali Panatam Dhammam Sharanam Pavachami.
Bola bola jinsa activity.
Okay, very good. Okay, have you done your homework?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we will ask one question. We'll start with Fiona. So we have done number 1. So we'll start with number 2 now. Who have been saluted in this mantra?
The Arihants, the Sikhs, the Acharyas, the Upadhyayas, and the Sadhus.
Good. The third question is for Vishal. What good flows from reciting this mantra?
By reciting the mantra, it destroys delusion, attachment, aversion, and leads to the right knowledge.
Okay, number 4. Mention the 4 names of the Panchaparameshti.
You wanna give name?
Ela?
4
Priya,
name of Panch. You wanna Panch Parameshti name? Aryan,
Acharya
Upadhyaya.
Sadhu.
well done. Number 5. How is real happiness attained? Alicia?
See right here. The person who knows these 5 Panch Parameshtis and treads the path shown by them definitely attains real happiness.
So,
How?
so
By following the path of Panch Parameshti.
Okay, good. And can you add anything extra, which is very simple and you already know the answer? Where is
Staying in-
happiness?
Inside the soul.
Yeah, so by experience of the soul.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Let's move on to the next 5
Okay,
questions.
so the next chapter, Biala.
We will start with Piana.
So we're doing
First
this.
question. Define
So fish can hear you.
Barely hear.
Okay.
Can barely hear.
Now you can. She said, "What you're gonna answer the first question?"
The first question.
First, read the question first.
Define benefaction, supreme, and shelter.
Okay. So what is the benefactions?
A benefactor is that which removes sins
And brings real happiness.
and brings them happiness.
That's a benefactor.
That's a benefactor.
What about the supreme?
Supreme is the greatest person
Greatest in the world. Not
in the
first.
world. Greatest in the world.
And there are 4 supreme entities.
Yeah.
Which ones are the 4? Arahant,
Arahant, Seed,
Sadhu,
Sadhu,
and the religion of non-attachment. Remember, we talked about this?
yeah.
The religion of non-attachment, that is preached by someone who's omniscient, is supreme.
Okay.
And what about shelter?
Shelter in the 5
Parmestis?
Parmesi means following the path shown by them and taking refuge in one's soul.
So explain that. Who are the 5 Parmeshtis?
Arihant, Seed, Acharya, Upadhyay, and Sadhu.
So how will you take shelter?
Follow the path shown by them.
Which is what? Which is to experience your soul.
Experience your soul.
Experience yourself.
Good, very good. Okay, next question for Vishal. Whose shelter should we take?
We should take this shelter of the Panch Parmestis. And that's really what that means, is obtaining happiness and bliss and becoming free from all the miseries.
Miseries is caused because of?
So it's the cycle of life, the birth and death, and basically getting away from that so that we can have a pure bliss and pure soul and pure knowledge.
Good. So by the false belief that one is a body,
Sorry?
we are experiencing misery because we become one with the body.
The body,
So
right.
sometimes the body of a human, sometimes we're the body of a heavenly being, sometimes of a hellish being, sometimes of an animal. So every time we attain a different body, every time we become one with the body. Sometimes a male, sometimes a female. So we always become one with the body, and we think everything which is off the body is also mine. Maybe the family, maybe the clothes, maybe the food, maybe the house, maybe the work. Okay, so now next question is for Alicia. Wherein lies the upliftment of the soul, of our soul?
You need to unmute, Alicia.
The person who takes refuge in the 5 Parmeshtis obtain bliss and become free from all miseries. That is the cycle of birth and death of the world.
The next question for, sorry, I always say your name wrong. How is it again?
Briella.
Briella. So the next question is for Briella.
Briella.
Recite correctly the Chattari Mangalam verse.
Do you know how to say Chattari Mangalam properly? Remember we say it all the time? You can take the paper. Say it.
Chattari Mangalam
Arhanta
Mangalam Sita Mangalam Sahu Mangalam Keveri Panato Tammu Mangalam Chattari Lokutama Arhanta Lokutama Sita Lokutama Sahu Lokutama Keveri Panato
Dhammo Loguttamo. Yeah. Chattari Sharanam Pavajami. Arhante Sharanam
Pavajami
Siddhe Sharanam
Pavajami Sahu Sharanam Pavajami
Kevali Panatam Dhammam.
Sharanam Pavajami.
Good job.
Pula Jinsa Sasevaki Jai Mari Swami Bhagwan ki Jai.
Very good. It's a thing we do in our house after the prayers.
Well done, good. So the next question is, anybody can answer this, whoever answers it first. What do you understand by taking shelter in the 5 Parmeshti?
What do you mean?
I'll mute you first.
Taking shelter in it's basically you follow what they've taught us, the knowledge that they've imparted to us. So it's following their path, following the knowledge, and understanding that your own soul and there's pure happiness within your soul.
Good. Okay.
So
Me too. Wait, one more.
Okay, one more. Go ahead.
Also, by taking the shelter of Panch Parameshti, you indirectly, you're taking the soul, taking shelter, or you're staying within yourself. Like, you stay like within your soul. By taking shelter of Panch Parameshti, by following the path, you're also, it's the same thing as going into your soul and staying within yourself.
No, that is not completely correct. And the reason for that is because when you take shelter of somebody else, you cannot
Yeah.
be with yourself because you have taken shelter of them. Now, to take shelter of Panchaparameshti is only and only to say is to listen to what they are saying. Is not to become their bhakt, because in Jainism there's nothing like bhakt. There's no, in its real essence, there's nothing like to be devotee of a god, because our Panchaparameshti tells us that Marisa menijo, tu tara potana atma nisamejo. So what the Panchaparameshti are like telling us when it is written take shelter, it is simply saying that by listening to their preaching, or by listening to what they have shown to us, or the path they have shown to us to attain moksha and to experience the soul, that is how we are taking shelter. And
By experience.
by experiencing the soul, because when the teacher tells us something and when we do the work, we have actually listened to what the teacher has told us, because we cannot live under the shadow of the teacher throughout our life.
Okay.
So in like Jain philosophy, because Jain philosophy is actually the philosophy of nature, the philosophy of this universe, the philosophy which is not per se like a man-made religion, but it is something that has been there for infinite time and which is going to stay there for infinite time. So by taking a shelter of Panchaparameshti, we are simply listening to what they are saying, how this universe is, how naturally it has been made and nobody has made it.
Made it. No.
Okay,
True.
so now let's do a small story, because then you might understand it slightly better. You can just make a here. It's okay. I found it. Okay, can you just make a full screen? I'm not able to. Okay, so we can start with the story. The story goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a king. There was one king who was a very good ruler. He used to rule the whole kingdom, and all his people used to look up to him. One day, his son and him went to see a Muniraj. They went to see a Digambar Muniraj, who does not wear any clothes. And they asked him about the future of the king. The king asked him, "Where am I going to go in my next life?" And he was shocked to listen to the answer that he's going to become a small insect. So he immediately told his son that, when I become an insect, make sure that you bring your army and take me away from this pool of mud. And this obedient son did exactly what the father said. When the father indeed became an insect, the son took his army and he tried to lift that insect away from the pool of mud. Now, what had happened? The king, when he was a king, he was so attached to being a king that even by hearing that in his next life he's going to become an insect, he was afraid of it. And he'd asked his son that please lift me from that horrible place and bring me back to the palace. And to your surprise, what actually happened was when he became an insect, he was so happy to be an insect because he had become so attached to that body that now he did not want to let go of that body. So every time that's what happens to us, it doesn't matter where we are born, in what circumstances we are born, or with what surrounding we're born, we become so attached to it. And unfortunately, this has what has been happening since infinite time. We might think, oh wow, I'm born in such a nice house, I've got such nice things in my house, I am so wealthy, I've got everything with me, but everything will go away, like everything went away. how we saw in the story of the king, and he became an insect where he literally had nothing. And in fact, the like the knowledge of an insect is a lot lesser than of a human being. So not only did his luxurious items go away, but also his knowledge also shrunk. But unfortunately, this is what had happened, that he became so attached to that body of the insect that he's like, no, I am happy over here. And obviously he could not remember his son of the last birth. It was only the son who could remember him because the father had instructed him. So this is what we need to learn when Panch Parmeshti tell us that we have to get rid of this cycle of life and death, because we might be a human, then we might be an insect, then we might go to heaven, then after heaven we might become a tree. So this is what happens. Let's understand with another example. Whoever goes to heaven, when they're about to die and get a new body, 6 months before, some of these heavenly beings get an idea that now I only have 6 months remaining. And what happens? They have worn a garland like in their neck, and this garland starts to fade. And this is when they realize, oh my God, I only have 6 months. And some of them have got Avdigna. Avdigna means that they can see the next birth or the future of what is going to happen to them. And some of these heavenly beings actually see that they will go to one sense being that might be a tree, that might be, like a water particle, that might be like one particle of the air, or it might be like one particle of the fire, or one particle of the earth. Like we see our house, which looks so glamorous. But can you imagine in this earth, what we see on the wall, how many one sense beings there are on our walls? There are infinite one sense beings. And if we do not understand self-soul, eventually we're going to become one sense beings, because this Manushya Bhav is very durlabh. Durlabh means that it is very rare. And on top of it, to get Jain philosophy is even more rare. So this is why we are learning Jain classes, not necessarily to expand our knowledge or to share what we have or to give classes, but we are actually learning to understand who am I, who born છું, ક્યાંથી આવ્યો છું, અને શું સ્વરૂપ છે મારું. સ્વનો અર્થ હું પોતે, અને રૂપ એટલે what is my nature, સ્વરૂપ. So મારું સ્વરૂપ શું છે? So let's go to that book, what we were doing of Laghu Jain Siddhant Praveshika. So this book is written by Pandit Gopal Das Ji Bharaiya, and it is translated by Brahmachari Hemchand Jain. Now we can move on. So we have finished the first 4 questions. Let's move on to the 5th question today. How many kinds of attributes are there? Fiona, this is a very simple question for you. What are attributes, and what is their number in the soul?
You can hear?
I can't.
You can hear.
I can't. It was all.
Shall I ask you again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
So how many attributes are there in the soul?
How many attributes are there in the soul? Attributes.
Gun.
How many guna are there in the soul? Yeah, say it.
Infinite.
Well done. That's the correct answer. So they're infinite gun, because attribute is a bit of a confusing word, but gun is easy to understand because gun means quality or virtues. So dravya, gun, and paryay. Okay. So the attributes or the gun are of 2 kinds. One is common, which is called samanya, and specific, which is called vishesh. Define. Now, who will read the next question? Alicia can read the next question.
Okay, define common attributes. Just like define common samanya gun, those qualities which exist in all types of substance are called common attributes.
Okay, so what are the 6 kind of substances?
Oh, like the Jiva Jeev, Udgal. Oh my goodness. Jeev,
Dharmastikai.
Dharmastikai, Adharmastikai,
Akash.
Akash and Kal.
Well done.
Yeah,
You have to remind me of your name again.
she's saying something. What did you ask me?
Sorry, you will have to remind me of your name again, your daughter's name.
Briella.
Briella. Briella, well done. Okay, so say it again. Say the 6 substances again.
Jeev,
Udgal.
Udgal,
Dharmastika.
Dharmastika, Akash,
Akash.
Kal.
Kal.
Good, very good. So there are common attributes.
Common attribute.
Common attributes like in all
What
of
are common qualities? Stop doing this.
Okay, you can put yourself on mute.
Okay.
What are the common attributes that we have as human beings? Vishal, just any one gun that we all have. It is a very simple answer.
Just we have a face, we have age, we have sense of smell, we have taste, we have many different.
Okay. So the answer what I was looking for was age. Something that we all have. Something that we all have. Every single second we are growing older. Every second, our Manushya bhag is decreasing. Okay. So now define these common attributes. Who will say it again? Fiona?
Those qualities which exist in all types of substances are called common attributes.
Okay, read the next question. Define specific attributes.
Those qualities which do not exist in all types of substance but are only found in its own substance are called specific attributes.
Now, can you identify one quality that maybe you have, but maybe one of your friends in school doesn't have? You don't have to name the friend. We just want to understand over here. Can you explain, just if you can think of one quality?
Yeah, most of the kids don't have black hair.
And you have black hair. Good answer. Okay, so fine. Now you have understood what actually we are talking about. How many common attributes are there? Who will read it? Vishal can read it.
So there are infinite but main common attributes are the following 6, which is existence or isness, astitva, functionality, vastutva, changeability, vastutva, changeability, dravyatva, knowability or knowableness, prameyatva,
Good.
constancy of individuality, agurula gutva, and then shape formation or shape retentivity, which is pradeshatva.
Very good. Okay, so now let's go to the first one. Astitva. Astitva means that existence. The existence of the substance. So how many are there in number? There are infinite in number, common attributes. But for them to make us understand, they have picked on 6 specific ones. The first one is astitva or existence. Astitva, that means that I am there. I am. And I will always be there. I will always be there. So astitva. Okay, so now let's go to question number 9. Define existence attribute. That potentiality or quality by virtue of which the substance is never destroyed and can never be created. It can never be destroyed and it can never be created by anyone or by anything, which is what I have added, which can never be created by anyone is called attributes. So that means, let's ask this question to anybody who wants to answer. Is there a God who has created us?
Is there a God that has created us?
No,
Why?
because God doesn't create.
Or
He's a knower, not a doer.
Okay, and according to this answer, why is it that God has not created you and me?
I literally just said it.
no, but what? Why? You
Why did he not create?
Read the answer.
read the answer.
Read number 9.
Okay.
One answer.
Nobody.
That potentially or quality by virtue is with the substance is never destroyed and also can never be created by anyone is called existence attribute.
So what is the answer now that you have read it? Why is it that nobody can create us?
You say it. So because the substance cannot be
Yeah,
destroyed.
If the substance can't be destroyed, it also can't be created.
Yeah. Okay. So now anyway, that's fine. That's a good attempt. Now let me help you because we have a quality within us called astitva. You see, we have this quality within us called astitva, which means that like nobody can create us because I am existing. I have a quality within me that I do not need any other object or any other person or any other thing to create me because I already have that quality within me that makes me exist forever and ever and ever and ever. I will never be destroyed and I will also never be created. Griela, can you try to explain whatever you have understood? Anything that you have understood, if you can explain, but why hasn't God created us?
Do you know why has God not created us?
Because
Remember, what did I just teach you? We are already
there.
we are there, and the there-ness. I had to
Fairness.
that all the jeeves are what? Like the jeev. Remember the 6 substance that we learned?
Yeah.
They all exist. They are
There.
they cannot be
They cannot.
destroyed.
Mhm.
The there-ness is called astitva.
Astitva.
Astitva means it's there. It's
There.
okay.
There.
So the there-ness.
Okay, good.
So it's a quality that it cannot be destroyed. Do you get it? Yes.
This is.
It is, that is also there. The carpet is there. The rug is there.
Mommy's here.
Yes. Listen.
iPad is there.
iPad is here. So the there-ness.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Who will read it? Vishal can read it.
Oh,
Define.
sorry, I was on mute the whole time.
We heard you. I muted you because you're talking. There was some other background noise, so we muted you. Define functionality attribute or vastutva, the potentiality or quality by virtue of which the substance performs its own specific function or useful action is called functionality attribute. For example, the specific function of a jar is to hold water. Items or water, yes.
Riela, this question is for you. What is the function of a car? What is the function of a car?
What does a car do?
It moves.
It moves. It drives.
It's right.
Yes.
It has an engine.
It has an engine. Yeah, but it drives people, right? It drives. Yes.
Its function is to take us from one place to another place.
Like I'm at this couch, and then my leg makes me move.
Your legs
This
move.
couch.
Yes, your legs are moving.
So the next question is for Fiona. What is the specific function of your legs?
The specific function is so that you can move around and do your daily activities.
So you can walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can walk. Okay, so that is a specific function. What is the specific function of speech, Vishal?
It's to communicate, to share messages with others.
And Alicia, what is the specific function of the ears?
Yes.
To listen.
Good. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. Alicia, you can read.
Dravyatva, define changeability attribute, dravyatva, the potentiality or quality by virtue of which the modification of a substance changes every moment continuously and uninterruptedly is called changeability attribute.
Okay,
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to explain that. Oh, from what I understand, like it's always changing. The substance every moment it's changing without stopping. It's going to change.
No, it is not. It's going to change. It is the okay. What changes in the dravya? What changes in the dravya? We've already learned that. What is the
What change?
changing part? Then? What is the changing part? Then you can go. You can scroll up to question number, I think 5. No, not 5, 4.
Mama, I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, so Fiona can answer this question. Fiona can read this first, like before answering.
What is modification?
Paryay.
The manifestation, functioning part of or activity of an attribute is called modification.
So what is modification? Paryay.
Paryay.
So basically modification is translated into paryay. So now let's go back to our question, which is question number 11. Define changeability attribute. So what changes? What changes in the dravya? Paryay. Paryay is the one every single samay. Samay is the smallest unit of time. Fiona, what is samay?
The smallest unit of time.
What is the smallest unit of time?
I don't know. Say. It's
You
okay.
know, I know
No,
you
no,
know.
no, say it. It's okay.
What is the
It's very-
smallest unit of time?
It's infinitely small. Like it's.
I know about that part.
But
No, it is called samay. So Alicia, what is the smallest unit of time?
When you cannot break that time, like you break the time for Fiona, for example, 1 minute, you got 60 seconds. Okay. So you break 60 seconds again, like further down to like nanosecond until to a point you cannot break the time anymore. That is one. So that is a samay.
Very good. Well done. Well explained. Okay. So
Thank you.
okay, good. So let's now move on. So read number 11 again, because this is, I mean, of course all of them are important, but this is important. So please read it again. Number 11. Alicia can read.
Okay. Define changeability attribute, dravyatva, the potentiality or quality by virtue of which the modification of a substance changes every moment continuously and uninterruptedly is called changeability attribute.
The next
It's
question
changing.
is for Fiona. Fiona, in a soul, does change ever stop? Just say yes or no.
No,
No. Why?
because
It has dravyatva gun.
Dravyatva, which means continuously and uninterruptedly change happens. That's a gun of the soul.
Good. Okay, let's move on to the next question. And if you have questions, you can always ask in between. Vishal, you can read number 12.
Define knowability attribute or pramyatva, that potentiality or quality of which the substance becomes the subject of any kind of knowledge is called knowability.
Good. Briella, the next question is for you, which is a simple question. Can you just name the 4 common attributes or the 4 gun that we have just learned?
4 gun.
You know, the four gun that we learned, remember over here,
Just
Honey, see this one. Try to read it in Gujarati.
go ahead. Your turn.
Astitva
Astitva.
vastutva dravyatva prameyatva. So tva is common. No, you are trying to read that? No, she said 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's aguru lagutva.
No, don't read that. Just read till number 12. From number 9 to number 12. Just read the gun.
Can anyone read it? Astitva,
Astitva,
Vastutva,
Vastuva, Dravya,
Dravyatva, and
Dravyatva.
Pramyatva.
Pramyatva.
Prameyatva.
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 Astitva.
Astitva.
Astitva,
Vastutva.
Vastutva.
Dravyata,
Dravyatva.
No, repeat after me. Vastutva.
Vasutva,
Vastutva.
Vastutva,
Dravyatva.
Dravyatva. Va. Dravyatva.
Dravyatva,
Dravyatva.
Dravyatva,
Break it into D-R-A-V. That's Drav.
Drav.
And then Y-A-T is Yat and Va. So Drav, Yat, Va.
Dravyatva.
Va,
Okay. Next is Prameyatva. So say Prame, Prame.
Va,
Prame.
Prameyatva.
Okay.
Prameyatva.
So let's read number 12 again. Alicia, you can read it again.
Okay, prameyatva, attribute, the potentiality or quality of virtue of which the substance becomes the subject of any kind or kinds of knowledge is called knowability attribute. So like, I will know that it's there, or the fact that I know that it's the knowing part of that subject, the knowing part of the dravya, that anybody can know that, or anybody can know there's a soul there. Anybody can know there are noodles, or Briela's holding the spoon. The fact that
That's
I can know.
No,
I can-
the Brianna's, for example, if she's holding a pencil, the pen or the spoon that she's holding has become a subject of your knowledge.
So, it comes to my knowledge.
It comes to
Yes.
your knowledge, right?
Yes,
So,
yes,
like for example, you are a subject of my knowledge by looking at you through the screen.
yes.
Yeah.
And how much, buddy?
Or for example, that I can see Fiona is just it is a subject of my knowledge. And in this moment of time, just for example, after half an hour, you might not be the subject of my knowledge because by chance you are not there after half an hour on the screen.
Right,
That
makes
is not
sense.
the reason that why you are not the knowledge of my, sorry, that you are not the subject of my knowledge. That is just by chance. Okay, next, the fifth one. This is a very easy one to understand. So let's read it slowly because it is very easy, but it is written in a very lengthy format, but it is a very simple one to understand.
That-
Sorry, first let's say the word
Laguru Lekwa.
Okay.
Let's say it together. Our Guru,
Aguru.
Lagu,
Lagu.
Lagu,
Lagutva.
Lagutva.
Our Guru, Lagutva.
Aguru Lagutva.
Our Guru.
Lagutva.
Okay, so now Vishal, you can read it and read it slowly.
That potentiality or quality by virtue of which the constancy or identity with individuality of substance is always maintained.
The potentiality or quality by virtue of which the constancy, meaning that apnama anant gun che, that that constant number of Anant Gun will always be maintained. So the constancy, identity with individuality of substance. So the existence, the identity of substance is also always maintained. Now read ahead.
So a substance does not change into another substance. An attribute does not change into another attribute.
To stop. So explain. Just think and explain whatever you understood.
So
A substance does
What? I'm sorry, what happened?
okay.
no, she's not now.
Okay, a substance does not change into another substance, meaning that Jeev will not become Pudgal, Pudgal will not become Akash, Akash will not become Dharmastikai, or Dharmastikai will not become Kal. So
Dharmastikai won't turn into Dharmastikai. Mom, we won't turn into Nintendo Switch.
Stop it, I will not turn.
Nintendo Switch.
why? Okay, so yes, that is also another example. You can just put yourself on mute. That, for example, one Pudgal will not become into another Pudgal. For example, this body is Pudgal, but it will not become into the Nintendo substance, because one Pudgal will also not change its form like that. It will maintain its form till it is supposed to maintain, and then when the right samay comes, then it might change into some other substance. So, but here we don't have to understand your example. It's only because you said it. One substance that does not change into another substance. So Jeev will not become into Dharmastikai. Dharmastikai will not become into Akash. Akash will not become into Kal, and Kal will not become into Jeev. All will remain separate for infinite time. Then there's a comma. Then it is saying an attribute does not change into another attribute. For example, Gnan Gun will not become Shraddha Gun. Shraddha means faith, and Gnan means knowledge. So knowledge will not become into faith. Faith will not become into knowledge. Charitra means, what is the exact translation of Charitra?
Character.
Character is a loose translation. Okay, so like character will not become into faith, and faith will not become into character. So an attribute does not change into another attribute, and also the infinite attributes of the substance will not scatter or split. They will never scatter, they will never split, or I cannot give you something which is in my soul, because you are already a complete soul. You already have infinite attributes, and you already have the same attributes as I have. So the attributes I have are Gnan, Shraddha, Charitra, Virya. So these are the attributes that I have in my soul. And in your soul, you also have the same attributes, which is Gnan, which means knowledge. Shraddha means faith. Charitra means, like a loose translation, is character. And then there's Virya, which is courage. So it has all these attributes which I have. Your soul also has them. So the infinite, so let's read from here. And also the infinite attributes of the substance will not scatter or split up into separate entities. Due to this attribute, no substance becomes less or more by losing or adding anything to it. એનો શું મતલબ થયો? એનો એમ મતલબ થયો કે in the present I am complete. In the present, not જ્યારે હું સિદ્ધ ભગવાન થઈશ ત્યારે, not when I will become સિદ્ધ ભગવાન. But in the present, my soul is complete. My soul has got infinite attributes right now. In the present, I cannot give anything to you. You cannot give anything to me, because you are complete. I am complete. I as a jeev or a soul will not become into this body, and this body which is called Komal will not become into soul, and Komal, which is this body, will also not become into space, or the space which is called Akash will not become into time, which is called Kal. So this is called Aguru Lagutva. Now question 14, and then we can stop because otherwise it'll be too much for one day. Let's read question 14. Define shape formation attribute called Pradeshatva. Pradeshatva. Pradeshatva.
Pradeshatva. Okay.
That potentiality or quality by virtue of which the substance always, the key word is always exists in some shape or form. Occupying, put yourself on mute. Occupying some spatial units is called shape formation. Now, have you seen the body of an elephant? It is huge. Have you seen the body of a mouse? It is small, but it has the same number of pradesh. It has the same number of spatial units, be it an elephant, or be it a mouse, or be it a frog. Frog is also very small, or be it or even smaller than that is an insect. An insect, or, no, sorry, let me just finish. An insect or an elephant has the same number of spatial units. It's just that in an elephant it is expanding, or like rather it is scattered more compared to maybe an insect where it is more, you know, together like this, because the body of an elephant is this big and the body of an insect is this small. So the potentiality or quality by virtue of which the substance always exists. Always exists. Even Siddha Bhagwan has a shape. It's not just us who have a body that we have a shape. Siddha Bhagwan who doesn't have a body, like for example, an elephant is a body, an insect is a body, but Siddha Bhagwan doesn't have any body, but even he has a shape. Now your homework is, and you can write it down, your homework is what two shapes does Siddha Bhagwan have? That is your homework. What two shapes does Siddha Bhagwan have? Because the shape of an elephant, we all can see it, how an elephant is shaped. Or we can all see the shape of a mouse or of a human being. But what is the shape of Siddha Bhagwan who doesn't have a body? He has got two shapes. So you have to find out what are these two shapes, and you can draw it, and in your next class on Saturday, you can show it to me. And your other homework is from the other book. We had done the lesson number 3, Tirthankar Bhagwan. There was a question answer with the student and the teacher. So there are, I think, 5 or 6 questions at the bottom. Yes, this one. At the bottom, there are 5 or 6 questions. So there are 7 questions. You have to answer the 7 questions, and the 2 other questions that you have, the 2 other homework that you have, is to find out the shape of Tirthankar Bhagwan.
Siddha Bhagwan or Tirthankar Bhagwan?
Sorry.
Siddha
Bhagwan.
Bhagwan.
Yeah, of Siddha Bhagwan. Okay.
I'm confused. Siddha Bhagwan doesn't have shape. I think he doesn't exist. No, wait. Tirthankar.
He only has a
Sid-
soul.
Good. You are very attentive.
He's confusing us. How does it have a shape?
No,
Tobaji.
it can you confuse it. Doesn't have any shape. There's not triangles. No shape.
body.
Okay, Siddha Bhagwan has only got a shape. I mean, sorry, it has only got a soul, and it is in 2 shapes. And the answer is actually very easy. Once you see or read the answer, you will see, oh yeah, this is so obvious. So Siddha Bhagwan can be in shape A or in shape B. So you have to find out what are these two shapes. Who will say now the prayer?
Me.
What prayer?
Briella will say the prayer. Briella, say
Wait,
Namo Karma.
Is it Namo? Oh, Namo Karmantra. Okay.
Yeah.
Namo Ai
Arihantaram. Namo
Namo
Siddhasaram.
Namo Ayaryaram. Namo Uvajayanam. Namo Havesavasahunam. Eso Panchinamokaram.
Namo Yaro.
Haro Sabba Pavapanasano. Mangalam to Savvasin. Paramam Hoi Mangalam.
Well done. So we
Good
will
job.
see you next week and have a nice week. And
Thank you.
thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.